Hello and welcome to another video by Jay Jarvis Life Coaching. Today's topic is going to be talents and skills, and we're also going to talk a bit about personality and personality types. And later on, for that purpose, I will be sharing with you my personality type as defined by Myers Briggs Personality Testing. And for that purpose, later on, you will have the link to that test in the description as well, so that you can go ahead and take that test for yourself and determine and find out what your personality type might actually be. But back to talents and skills. So if we're talking about talents and skills, I can tell you that all of us have a massive amount of talents and a massive amount of skills. Not everyone will see that readily, not everyone will acknowledge that readily, but I can tell you everyone has a massive amount of talents and a massive amount of skills. But just because you have that massive amount of talents and that massive amount of skills doesn't necessarily mean that we're supposed to use them all in order to follow our purpose. Just because we're good at something doesn't necessarily mean that we have to do it or that it will even bring us joy. Because, see, I might be good at English in school, or I might be good at history, but really, does that mean that it's part of my purpose? Does it mean that that's something that I should continue pursuing in order to follow my purpose? Not necessarily. It depends how I feel when I'm doing the activity and whether or not it actually brings me real, true joy. So I can tell you, for my sake, I love history. I love English. I love all of that. But is it part of my purpose? Absolutely not, because as I've told you before, my purpose is to help people. My purpose is to, educate people on ways that they can live their purpose, ways that they can be happy, goal setting, etc. So really, none of that has much to do with history. So if I have a talent and if I have a skill, that's fantastic. But if it doesn't bring me joy, should I really spend any time on it? And the answer to that is probably not. Understand, though, that there is more to purpose than simply just joy. It may simply be that the particular skill was or will be useful at some point, and that may help me along my path to my purpose. In my story, in my background, in my history, history and English, those were the two things that got me to where I am today. If I hadn't taken an English course in Germany, I might not have been in the US. If I hadn't taken my history in school or in college, I may not have gotten on track with education, and then I may not have gotten on track with where I am at this point in my life. So really, it's possible that these talents and these skills are there to assist you in getting to your purpose, or are there to sort of be some building blocks to your purpose, but it might not be your purpose overall. And then again, some of those talents, some of those skills might just be things that you enjoy, but have nothing to do with your overall purpose in life. With that said, though, and this is something else that I talk about a lot in sessions with clients, is sometimes there is a talent or that there's a skill that we simply just fail to notice because it just seems to be such a normal skill, a normal talent, that we don't really see that for other people it might not come as natural as it comes to us. So, as an example, maybe you're a good conversationalist, and maybe because of that you're able to bring people together. It seems that anytime something needs to happen, you are the person that will join all of these people together in conversation and activities, etc., and so on. But really, it might not be as simple as somebody else. Like, for example, I seem like I'm very good at conversing. I seem like I can be very good at bringing people together, but I don't think that's a talent. I don't think that I really see it as a talent that it could be. So it's important to know that when we have someone that we see a talent in, that we really kind of point that out to them too, because it might just be the one talent or the one skill that will get them on track to getting to their purpose. And again, passion to purpose, and really just find a way to, in this case, bringing people together, to bring that out as a talent to help others or to serve your purpose. So what I want to do in this video, in this first portion of this video, is simply just provide some ways to reflect on your own talents and skills, and really ask you to dig deep to find out all of the things that really come natural to you. And depending on how you feel about this, maybe you can even enlist help from other people to answer these prompts as well. Because perhaps other people have a different perspective, of course, of you than you do, and maybe they will tell you some things that might surprise you, or really will help you in understanding where your true natural talent is and how that can then eventually get you back on track to your purpose. So if and when you do actually involve other people, though, I would ask that you really sincerely and truly and honestly have that conversation and get them to tell you more than just one thing, if possible. Because it's a good conversation to have, because again, other people have other perspectives of you. So it's important to get to know what their perspective of you is, good or bad, just to kind of see where things are at. So the first thing that I wanted to kind of impress on you and kind of get you to really think about is simply the phrase or the prompt, my key talents or my key abilities that come naturally to me are. And if you're having a little bit of an issue or a little bit of a challenge getting to that, ask yourself this question. Ask yourself, what do I excel at, or what do I do effortlessly? And that should help in getting a little bit closer to knowing what your key talents or your key abilities are. Then the next prompt is, I shine when. So I'm going to say that again, I shine when. And that's again an expression of, like, what do you do well? What brings you joy that you can notice and that you can tell? And then number 3 is, I keep being drawn to. And when I say that this prompt, I keep being drawn to, really what I mean by that is simply, what piques your interest? What is something that think of this prompt as kind of like a moth and light. What keeps you drawing? What keeps you, or what gets you to kind of zero in on this? What kind of what attracts you in a sense of talents and skills, etc. What is that light that you get drawn to? Then this is the key where you can involve others, and that says, others tell me that I am good at. And again, this is where you want to solicit feedback from others and get as much feedback as you can, because maybe you find out something where you're like, oh yeah, I hadn't thought of that, or I didn't realize that was such a big talent that I had, or such a big skill that I had. And that's why that question is important, because it will really help you think of perspectives other than your own. And sometimes we get really stuck in our own perspective that we don't pay attention that other people can have a perspective of you that may actually help you further your talent or further your purpose in life. And then the next one is, what skills do you have that are unique? Like, what is something that you feel is specifically unique to you? And truth is, it might not be, but what is something that you do really well? What is something that you're really skilled at? What is something that you feel like is, again, unique to you? Another prompt is, what skill have you acquired that you have found was more useful than you anticipated? So really, for me, if I had to answer this question, what it would be is just the ability to talk. I didn't realize that I can talk, and I didn't realize that I have a voice, and I didn't realize that my voice can potentially have all of these effects on people, provided, of course, that I'm speaking in ways that make sense and planned, and in an attempt to sway people one way or another. And I didn't anticipate that, because my personality type really is more of an introvert, is more focusing on internal things than it is on external things. But fact is, planned communication, or really like well thought out communication, never thought that would be more useful to me than I initially anticipated. And then the last question on that is, what talents do you have that come easy to you, which others might find difficult? And this is another one of those prompts where you can involve somebody else, because you can kind of talk about what you think your talents are, and then gauge people's reaction, and say, when they say things like, oh my gosh, yeah, that is so hard for me, I'm so glad that you can do that, maybe you can even teach me, right? And then that's another segue into some other things. But just consider all of the things that you feel that come easy to you, that may not be as easy for other people. And that, my friends, is the segment on talents and skills that I had for today. I really want to spend the rest of the video talking more about personality and personality types. And before I get started, everyone is obsessed with personality types, and everyone is obsessed with thinking about all of the aspects of those personality tests and everything. And really, it's an easy topic to get stuck in, and an easy excuse for a lot of people. Oh, I don't do that because that's not my personality type. And I want to start with a word of caution, in a sense that your personality type isn't something that should be limiting. It should serve as a foundation to figuring out who you are as a person, and a foundation as to what your purpose in life could really be. And again, personality type, as I mentioned earlier, really kind of helps in clarifying what your purpose could be. And with that said, there is a lot of personality profiles, a lot of personality tests, a lot of online quizzes that really can be taken. In my experience, from my point of view, I feel like the Myers Briggs type inventory is actually the most well-respected, widely used, and most scientifically studied personality profile that is out there. And I feel that therefore the results that you get from that is the most accurate. And really, for that, I want us to understand that there are 16 personality types as recognized by Myers Briggs, and they're made up of 8 characteristics. And in each segment, there's questions, and you're asked to decide between 2 characteristics, which most likely, fits your specific personality type. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to provide a little bit of a description. And again, I'm also going to put the link to Myers Briggs Myers Briggs type inventory in the description of this video, so that way you can go and test yourself and see where you're at. Understand that I'm providing a summary, not a full description of everything. So please, again, for full details, for full descriptions, you can go to that link and or do some more research online as well. So the main thing that we really want to consider is, are we an introvert versus an extrovert? And that's mainly how we interact with the world and where we direct and or receive our energy. Extrovert, as the word suggests, oriented to the outer world, and the intention is focused outside of the self. They really tend to seek out other people. They enjoy a lot of activity, get their batteries charged by being social, by being around others. Introverts, like myself, on the other hand, we're more oriented to our inner world, and our attention is mainly really focused inward. We do need a lot of alone time. There's a lot more mental activity usually than there is verbal and outspoken stuff. And we really do like to be alone to kind of recharge our social batteries and etc. and so on. But with that said, there's a misperception is the word, that extroverts are more outgoing and talkative while introverts are shy and quiet. That's not really accurate. It can be very much the opposite too. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert really has more to do with where your focus and your energy resides, and less how you act around others. Then you got the next portion is sensor versus intuitive, the kind of information that we naturally notice. Sensors usually are looking for concrete information, really more attentive to what's going on around them, trust senses to give them accurate perception of the reality, really have to have a talent for remembering facts, whereas intuitives really are more concerned with looking for meaning, exploring possibilities, and getting insights from beyond the senses. Reading between the lines is kind of a sixth sense and referred to as intuition. Oftentimes, the intuitives really speak in metaphors. And with that said, I also want to say that another misconception about these two is that intuitive is referring to psychic ability. In this case, intuitive really refers to the tendencies to see and to understand information beyond the surface of reality. So it's not necessarily speaking about psychic ability. Then thinker versus feeler, how do we make decisions? Thinkers, again, very logic, tend to value logic above anything else. They're good at being objective and are often quite analytical. Making decisions, thinkers are very black and white, not really too much in between. And feelers value, being caring and doing what they feel is right. And notice how I said feel is right over logic. They tend to be more empathetic and make decisions based on how they feel and the feeling of others. Then you've got judger versus perceiver, how we like to structure our lives. Judgers really prefer a structured life and orderly environment. Prefer strongly to have things settled, decided, resolved, rather than leaving anything up in the air. They want to know that what is expected before it's being done. Perceivers, on the other hand, live a little bit more spontaneously. They kind of enjoy remaining flexible, staying open to possibilities, more likely to be okay leaving something open-ended or jumping in with little understanding of what to expect. A misconception there is that judgers are really kind of neat, tidy, neat freaks, if you will, whereas perceivers are messy. It's not necessarily really related strongly to the physical structure of one's life, but rather about the degree of structure and order one prefers to feel most comfortable. Perceivers feel trapped when forced to decide, while judgers feel anxious when a decision cannot be made. And that's really kind of in a nutshell how that works. Personality and purpose, again, there's really there's a book called Do What You Are, and that's considered to be a really good resource for looking further into kind of careers that fit that particular personality type, and also why. And it's really kind of interesting how much you can go online and really just look for specific aspects of personality types, like careers or life, etc., and so on. So then again, there are 16 types total of these personality types, and really there's a lot going on here. You've got, I'm gonna just read them out to you. There's ISTJ, ISFJ, INFJ, INTJ, ISTP, ISFP, INFP, INTP, ESTP, ESFP, ENFP, ENTP, ESTJ, ESFJ, ENFJ, ENTJ. So those are the 16 personality types. You'll understand more about that when you go and do the Myers Briggs test or quiz, because then it will really drill down into what personality type you are. Anything with an I at the beginning is introvert. Anything with an E at the beginning is extrovert. What I wanted to share with you is my results. And really, my result is what they consider to be an INFJ. And what that says is, for INFJs, the dominant quality in their lives is their attention to the inner world of possibilities, ideas, and symbols. Knowing by the way of insight is paramount to INFJs, and they often manifest a deep concern for people and relationships as well. INFJs often have deep interests in creating expression, as well as issues of spirituality and human development. While the energy and attention of INFJs are naturally drawn to the inner world of ideas and insights, what people often first encounter with INFJs is their drive for closure and for the application of their ideas to people's concerns. The key I want you to take away from my personality type is where it mentions about a deep concern for people and for relationships, and really the creative expression, as well as the issues of spirituality and human development. I mean, all of that truly fits into my purpose, because again, helping others through their dark moments, helping people live their life purpose or live life with happiness, with joy, all of that 100,000% fits into that particular type of personality. And so I really encourage you to look into that, because what it'll do is, again, it'll provide you with a foundation. A foundation. Please understand, foundation, not 100% purpose. It will provide you with a foundation to your purpose, because it will allow you to sort of understand where you do well at. And then again, if you do research on careers for INFJs or whatever you have, that will kind of give you an idea. Again, don't use this result solely to determine your purpose, because it's not going to provide you with the result that you would like. But use it again as that foundation to build off of, and to really just kind of start looking into your life and your life's purpose as well. With that in mind, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as per always, if you enjoyed what you saw, if you are not already subscribed, please subscribe. If you would like to share and like the video, I'd appreciate that as well, because my goal is to reach as many people as I can, in hopes that I'll be able to make a difference in their life via this medium. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great rest of your day.